Hello and welcome. My name is John Eric Advento, placement consultant with Strategy Genius, and I am so pleased to be on this Zoom call with a group of phenomenal educators, as well as my partner in crime, Julie Brown, our Director of Operations at Strategy Genius. We have had the great pleasure of connecting and working alongside this member school, this wonderful all-girls school in California. And more than anything, we have had the opportunity to visit them most recently, and we got to tell you, it's a gem of a school where they're doing some phenomenal things with young women. It's really important for us to also share with you that as a Strategy Genius firm, we have the great pleasure of working with all kinds of independent schools all over not just the country, but all over the world. And you could see just by a show of some of those phenomenal institutions in front of you that we're here to help support folks getting to know all about the great work that's taking place in our member schools. And today it is a dear pleasure and honor to introduce the Burke's team, and it's led obviously by the phenomenal head of school, Michelle. We're going to stop sharing this way and connect this to say, Michelle Williams, please take it away.
John Eric, thank you so much. We are all very excited to be here as well. As John Eric said, I am the head of school at Burke's, and it really is an honor and privilege. Burke's is a K-8 gender-inclusive girls' school situated on a very unique campus. We'd like to point out it's a full city block, 3.5 acres, located in the city of San Francisco. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple minutes to tell a little bit about our mission and a short history of Burke's. Burke's was founded by Catherine Delmar Burke in 1908, and she was a fascinating woman from a fascinating family of female educators. They literally were important people in the state of California's early education years. So Burke's for more than 100 years has been a part of the fabric of the city of San Francisco. It has always been, from its earliest days, all about empowering girls and young women. It was a bold undertaking, with Catherine Delmar Burke believing from its very founding that all graduates should go on to study at four-year colleges and universities, which really, truly bold thinking for 1908. We like to say that our mission in many ways can be summarized in a simple phrase: to educate, encourage, and empower girls, and to do so in a way that is academically challenging, child-centered, inclusive. And we talk about joy here. It is always joyful. Simply put, there are 400 ways to be a Burke student. Kind of leading this effort is our administrative team. So let me tell you a little bit quickly about them. I have the privilege of working with this incredible team of educators and professionals each and every day. We work together to move the mission of the school forward, and feel very lucky to be able to do this work here at this school. I always do like to note and point out this is an all-female team. And then finally, we're a school that is strategic. We are always looking to grow and improve, and we are in the execution phase, I like to say, of our current strategic plan. At Burke, strategic plans are community-driven and designed to be actionable. They're not something we spend a lot of time on, put on a shelf, and then take out 5 years later and say, what's happening? We are really look at these documents in their creation to really gauge things happening. This current plan, as you can see in this slide, was created in concert with the whole community, not just me sitting in an office writing up plans for the future. So teachers, administrators, trustees, parents, and alumni were all engaged and a part of it over a several-month process. I really am excited about the work we're doing related to it, because we work together to create a document that will serve and is serving and will serve as our roadmap for the next several years. I really encourage you to go to our website to read it and to learn more about Burke's. You get a sense of the things that are important to us by doing that. And then finally, just some quick facts. We like to say at Burke's, our students shine brightly. They're courageous, they're confident, they're kind. and they're educated and encouraged and empowered to show up as their true selves. This is a place where when we talk about that aspirational goal that there's 400 ways to be a Burke's girl, we really mean it. And we do this, as you can see, just with some of the statistics that we share through our rich program, our incredible student and faculty community, and again, our unique campus for a city school. So I hope these, the statistics highlighted in the slide give you some insight into those things and make you curious to learn more about us. And with that, I would like to introduce Fran Yang, Burke's Director of Curriculum and Innovation. Fran, take it over.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. I just wanted to build on some of the things that Michelle had shared. My name is Fran Yang. I'm the Director of Curriculum and Innovation here at Burke's. This is my 5th year here at Burke's, and that's after about 30 years in the classroom in grades K through 8. And what I really love about Burke's is not only that it's for the joy is within the students and their learning, but it's also within the faculty and staff. So a little bit later, I'll share more about the professional learning that faculty engage in. But I wanted to share that among the admin team, within that, we have an academic admin team made up of the associate head of school and Renita, Sheena, and Margot that you'll be hearing from each of them as well. Our educational philosophy, as Michelle had mentioned, is really all centered around our mission to educate, encourage, and empower girls. We really look for that balance of academic challenge and joyful learning and deeply entwine those through learning experiences that are engaging and innovative and various approaches that teachers take in the different classrooms. In the science example here, you see in the picture that girls are really engaged in learning through hands-on experiments that they're doing in class. We're practicing a growth mindset and setting our students up for being lifelong learners, just as our faculty and staff are, and really encouraging them to take intellectual risks, to learn from mistakes as they go along, and really engage in the meaningful and challenging work and embrace that challenge. There are 400 ways to be a Burke's girl. We talk about that often, and that's academically, it's socially, and it really encourages our girls to find and be their best self. And so with that, we'd like to share a little bit more about our lower school program, and I'll hand it off to Margot.
Hi, I'm Margot Zahner. Thanks, Fran. I am a new member of the academic admin team. It's great to be here. I'm in my first year, and it has been just delightful to get to learn and know the Burke's community. If you haven't been out to visit us, it is truly extraordinary, and I love that you're getting to see us via video, but come visit because you will be blown away. I want to share here a couple photos of our lower school faculty and students, and then share some statistics about us. On the far left, you see us at our beginning of the year retreat. We always take time to go away and build community and celebrate. We think about 400 ways to be a Burke's girl. There's also a lot of ways to show up and be a Burke's staff member. And I think one of the things that I really value at Burke's is that we recognize and value the different strengths that we all bring to our team. Up at the top there is Ms. Yartrusis, who is the Associate Director of DEIB with Ms. Lavosi, and she is working here with a group of students on our Hispanic Heritage Month presentation. That was really something students helped animate and we helped make happen. So there's a lot of ways in which teachers respond to student interests and student desires. We have Fat Bear Week, always a big excitement around here. Which one's the fattest? Those of you who've hung out in elementary school know the enthusiasm. If you haven't, I encourage you to check it out. And then on the right, you see some of our faculty hanging out at our retreat, and then our students on a trip at Land's End. Again, the extraordinary location we're at allows our students to just walk out of our campus and walk onto a pathway in one of the most spectacular views you're ever going to see. And our students do that as part of learning about the Ohlone culture and the indigenous peoples who lived here in this area for ages and ages. If we go to the next slide, we'll be able to see a little bit more about our lower school. We've got 12 lead teachers. We've got 2 classrooms per grade and 3 in kindergarten, and 11 associate teachers. And our academic program is really comprehensive. We, as Fran talked about, engage in a lot of project-based learning and outdoor learning. You can see some of those students there looking across at the Golden Gate. You can see other students in kindergarten working with the nibbler in our makery. But we also have a really a robust social emotional program. In the lower corner there, you see two students, a fourth grader and a kindergartner. And what we really emphasize here is the relationships between students over time. So our fourth graders take a relationship that they build with that kindergartner through that kindergartner's experience in lower school up through upper school. And that really gives us a community that's based in joy and wonder and discovery in a caring community. So that's us at the lower school. Come check us out. I'd like to introduce now Sheena Tart-Zalvin, who is our director of upper school.
Hello, everyone. Speaking of the joy of learning that is present here at Burke's, we timed that perfectly. We just had a passing period, though you may still hear some students finding their way to their next class very joyously and loud enough to come all the way through to the computer speakers. And so their journey continues at Burke's in the upper school with grades 5 through 8. And we continue where the lower school leaves off academically, social, emotionally, and everything. And so you can see here, much like the lower school, it is a team effort in upper school. And so we also have retreats at the start of the year during our opening meetings to come together, to set norms, to establish our work for the year, and to get going on big picture things, but also to enjoy the space and the place that we are in, because it is pretty unique and pretty beautiful. You can see in one of these pictures here, if you can tell, the one by the tree, we have some new faculty, and in introducing them, I saw them wandering campus and I was like, how quickly can you spell Burke's? And that was their immediate attempt. So that was one take in about 3 seconds. So you can see, pretty spontaneous and joyous bunch ready to jump in with anything. But, not everything in upper school or in middle school years is comfortable. And you can see students climbing a cliff face in Pinnacles National Park as part of their outdoor education. Some students get there and they're excited to belay, others are excited to climb, but no one is truly comfortable when they reach their hand up, wondering if they're going to get all rock or if they're going to get rocky and say hello to a lizard. And so something where students get to learn and experience a lot and challenge each other and challenge themselves and come back stronger for it. And I think one last picture we had in there was one of our 8th graders circled up in our pavilion as part of one of our traditions that would be a rite of passage for them. We have a couple where they end and they gather and circle up in that pavilion and cheer each other on and get each other excited as they really spend their 8th grade year here, both reflecting back on their experience, appreciating where they are in their journey currently, and also looking forward. And so kind of bridging both the past, the present, and looking to the future for them is a lot that our 8th grade does, which makes our upper school a pretty special place. We have about 28 teachers in the upper school. We have a learning specialist, a math specialist, and a counselor. We have about 22 students in a class for many of our classes, and about 15 students in math and world language classes. Our approach to learning is very student-centered and inquiry-based, including project-based learning. There are interdisciplinary collaborations that happen between our makery space and various disciplines, as well as across humanities and languages, or languages and art. Lots of people enjoy partnering with the arts teachers, whether it's STEAM or anything else that integrates arts into what they're doing. There's a lot of wonderful collaborations that can happen there. Much like lower school, we have a strong social emotional learning program, and the cornerstone of that in the upper school experience is our advisory program. So a number of our teachers are also advisors. We have about 4 advisories in a grade, and they spend time together. We partner with the Institute for Social Emotional Learning in informing our program and our curriculum. And so they spend time in SEL lessons and doing things like open session. And in the spring, they have their outdoor ed trips. We have a big focus on community in the upper school and coming together across grade level, whether that's at recess or lunch. We have weekly assemblies that our student government, Youth Voice, organizes and leads. It's pretty unique, a 50-minute assembly that's put together by students every week. We have multiple student affinity groups in our upper school, a variety of student leadership opportunities, whether it's our student government or our yearbook or sports captains. They really have a chance to lead their community, not only in titles and specific roles, but also just in how students show up in our community. We have actually our current 8th graders. I tell them often they have been leading the upper school since they were in 5th grade, and they really lean into showing up as citizens of our community. And in addition to the upper school, we have a number of wonderful traditions, and we have our 8th grade musical, we have our 5th grade Greek plays, we have our 7th grade cultural heritage project. I'm really only at the top of the list here. There's so many more that are a part of the school experience. And it's wonderful to see at the end in June, as we go to wrap up the year, our community come together for Pansy Day, which is an upper school sort of stepping up ceremony, and then ultimately commencement for our 8th grade class as we wish them well in their next step. To do all of this, in addition to our amazing teachers, we do have a really strong student support services team who help teachers find ways to meet students where they are and stretch their capacity to also work with families and supporting students in their learning. And then, of course, a big thing that's a part of Burke's, if you're ever here on campus, you will see, is our athletics program. For any given season in our upper school, we may run something like 6 to 8 teams. We might have 6 to 8 volleyball teams or 6 to 8 basketball teams in a season, because we have so many students participating and because we want them to all have quality playing time. So it's a big part of our community, and students have a great time with our athletics program. So that's sort of our upper school in a nutshell and what we do in grades 5 through 8. I'm going to pass this off to our Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Belonging, Renita Livolsi.
Thank you, Sheena. I'm Renita Livolsi, Director of Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging. And this is my 4th year at Catherine Delmar Burke School. It has been a pleasure to do this work at this school. This is an institution that is committed to this work. As Michelle said earlier, our strategic plan is our roadmap, and DEIB is woven throughout our strategic plan. We are a school that is focused on making sure that we live diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And one of our strategic initiatives is to actively foster a diverse, equitable community of belonging. And the ways that we do that is with our faculty and staff. We do professional development. We do trainings that focus on our faculty, allowing them to develop the skills they need, pose the questions they need to really make sure they are seeing all of our students. With our staff, we make sure that they are incorporated and understand, even if they are not student-facing, that inclusion and equity and belonging are an important part of this institution. We also make sure that our teachers who join us, who are new to our institution, also understand the importance of diversity and inclusion. One of the ways that we support and make sure that our faculty and staff have a sense of belonging is attending the NIS People of Color Conference. This is a conference that happens every year, and it's with the National Association of Independent Schools. And we are very fortunate to allow a significant number of our teachers of color to attend. And I have attended every year that I've worked at Burke's, and it is really an opportunity for me to dig deep, to pose questions, for me to re-energize, and for me to come back to this institution ready to do the work of DEI. And this is something that we are very fortunate, because we make an effort to make sure as many of our teachers of color who want to attend can attend this conference. We're also really happy to celebrate the different communities that make up Burke's. So Heritage Months are very important to us. We celebrate all of our Heritage Months, and we celebrate events like the Lunar New Year, which are very important to many different cultures throughout the Asian world. We also make sure that we are really making sure that we bring examples of people from various communities to our campus. As you can see, we have Dolores Urta, who came and spoke and did a wonderful job of explaining her life experience, all of the things she's done. She spent much time with our students and our faculty. It was a wonderful experience for us. You can also see that we have students who are excited and marching in the annual MLK March that we participate in every year. We're also a place, as Sheena said, we really want our students to share their identity and be proud of their identity. And so we have dedicated time for student affinity groups, and we have amazing faculty who lead those groups. And you can see Fran Yang there with the AAPI affinity group. And we really enjoy being a part of a community that celebrates all the different heritages that we have. Some other things that we do here at Burke's is we celebrate people in our community, our adults in our community. We have a large contingent of our faculty, staff, parents, and students who attend each year the San Francisco Pride March. If you've never been to San Francisco, it is a wonderful experience. You can see Sheena and I had a great time with a bunch of our community there celebrating. It was really a wonderful experience. We also have an event that's called Blend, which is an event where the entire community comes together. We have dinner, and we offer an opportunity for each family, if they choose, to bring a dessert that represents their culture and their heritage. A new holiday that we are fortunate to celebrate in this country is Juneteenth. And a couple years ago, we had our first picnic where many of us attended and had a wonderful time in Golden Gate Park and celebrating that day. That's a very important part of American history. So as you can see, this is a mosaic of the many different things that we celebrate here in San Francisco and at Burke's. Another thing that is an important part of Burke's and our professional development is self-work, is really looking at yourself as an individual and seeing how you interface with students and pose questions that are important for you to be a teacher that can really live up to the diversity, equity, inclusion that is a part of our community. This is a video of a third grade teacher who talks about her experience and how professional development at Burke's helped her do some important self-reflection and self-work.
I started at Burke's when I was 26. I'm now 34. And I was really new to teaching. And I came in really thinking about DEIB as something that was not the most important thing in my profession, being a white woman. And through DEIB professional development at Burke's, I came to realize it is my #1 priority as a teacher, especially as a white teacher teaching a predominantly upper class group of students, and making sure that all my students' voices and all my students' identities are being seen and valued and not being harmed. So through Burke's professional development, I was able to gain understanding and insight into white privilege, into tone policing, that really led me on this path of becoming an anti-racist teacher.
And so that's an example of the type of work you're able to do at Burke's and that our teachers are involved in. And with this, I will pass it on to Fran to talk more about our professional development at Burke's.
I really think Caroline spoke very well to it in terms of our commitment to professional development and to supporting lifelong learning. So in this picture, we are at that division retreat that both Margot and Sheena had talked about. And this is a mix of teachers from both divisions. And just what I love also here is that I live in Marin, and this is the headland. You could actually, if you looked carefully, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge and the headland out this window here. And I love just getting to share my professional life and the things that I love personally, like the nature and being outdoors. So within my role, an exciting part is overseeing the robust professional development program. And it really is a priority, and it allows for we have structures such as committed time where all of the faculty is engaged in a topic. In these bottom pictures, you'll see an example of we have 3 professional development days during the year, as well as many of the after-school meetings that focus on various parts of the strategic plan and other things that we're working on. In the bottom here, we're having discussions around wellness and what that looks like. And in the top, you'll see one of our smaller curriculum committee groups that has been working on education for sustainability units. And teachers can really dive into becoming leaders in areas of interest and collaborating with one another and working in these smaller groups to move forward with what they're interested in their area. So we've got a quote here from one of our teachers about how professional development and the opportunities he's had has allowed him to grow in his profession. And I wanted to share a video from Jimmy, who is our lower school makery teacher. I oversee the library makery and technology team, who look to integrate their subject areas across all grade levels. And he'd like to share a little bit about his professional development learning experience here at Burke's.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Santosa, and I'm the lower school makery teacher at Burke's, Catherine Delmar Burke School. I came to Burke's because I worked at a school that overlapped with Burke's. A lot of families sent their boys to the school I went to, and I was teaching at, and I've always had a great feeling about the reputation of Burke's and the program there. I came to Burke's because of the makery program, which is a fantastic program that's been going on for like 12 years. I feel this is a place where I can grow professionally. The professional development opportunities are unparalleled at Burke's. And it's just a warm and inviting community for me to be a part of. One of the highlights of my job is getting to collaborate with lots of teachers. I collaborate with the other specialist teachers. I collaborate with all the classroom teachers. And I feel I can be as creative as I want to be here. I feel I can mix up my curriculum and feel supported in really being the best teacher I could possibly be. I also really love my colleagues. I love working with everybody here. People are so open to working together, and it just is a warm and inviting community. And I love Burke's.
Great, thank you. Jimmy's really at the heart of what you'll see, some of the things that we do here that are just fun, like our Halloween costume and things, and the sense of community that he brings in his role is really wonderful. So on the next slide, I just wanted to focus a little bit about just our approach to lifelong learning. And that's not only for our students, but as I said, for our faculty and staff. And some of these quotes, and these quotes are taken from our internal Burke's professional development website, which is a place where teachers are able to not only look for opportunities for professional growth, but apply and collaborate and really reflect on the opportunities that they've had so that others can also look and see who they might reach out to and talk to about an experience. So I chose the quotes that you see up top because they really speak to the fact that people are able to do experiences that are really specific to their subject area and the things that they're doing, whether it be drama or world language or a STEAM focus for their workshop. So in these pictures, you see, as Renita had mentioned, the POCC conference and a group that had gone there. We did that in St. Louis last year. We also have our upper school Mandarin teacher here with our lower school music teacher who is leading that wonderful lion dance all around campus today. And they went to an opportunity to learn a little bit more about different ways to celebrate the Lunar New Year, as well as our academic leaders and attending a challenge success opportunity to learn more about that. So what we wanted to do now is share a little bit more about just our setting and living in the Bay Area and what's so wonderful about living in the Bay Area. This is a picture of our associate head of school and myself doing our bike commute home. We don't do it every day, but once in a while we get to do this, and it's just a beautiful way to end your day and right across the Golden Gate Bridge home. So I'm going to hand it off to Renita to share a little bit more about living in the Bay Area.
Thank you, Fran. So as you can see, that wonderful photo is the Golden Gate Bridge. We are so fortunate to be in San Francisco. San Francisco is a vibrant city with many cultural things to do. I have lived here personally for 25 years. It is a place where I have been able to do wonderful hikes. I love to eat wonderful different types of food. This is a place where we have the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, we have the De Young, we have the Jazz Center, we have the Symphony. It is really a place where you can experience many different things. And it's a place that you can fly into from almost any place in the world. And so it's a really great place to live, to be. And when you're not working, there are lots of fun things to do. So we're very fortunate to be here. And when we think about our faculty, we also think about their well-being and having fun. And so for us, this is a place where we do have fun. As you can see, the large photo is from our Halloween presentation. And our teacher, who is our Makery teacher, Jimmy, who you heard from earlier, made costumes for all of us who wanted to participate. And it was a wonderful time. Halloween is very serious at Burke's. We take it very seriously, and we have just as much fun as students. We take a little bit of time out of our day to have a big parade where we all participate and have fun, and then we go back to school. So it's a really great way to celebrate that day with the students from K to 8th grade. We also are a place where we're thinking about your well-being, and we are thinking about how to make this a destination workplace in the ways that we provide our benefits for our faculty and staff. And we are very fortunate to have wonderful fresh lunch every day. You can eat healthy. You can also have a hot dog when we have hot dogs for the kids. And on every Friday, we get dessert. So it's a really great place to work. And you are someone who will collaborate. You'll be asked to challenge yourself. You'll be asked to think about what you're doing in the classroom. You'll ask to be a lifelong learner, but you'll also be supported when you do that work. If you are really moved by what you've heard from us today about Burke's, there are so many ways you can connect with us. One of the best ways to do is to go to burkes.org newsroom, where you can find out wonderful information about the things we've done. We also have an Instagram page where we do highlights of wonderful things that are happening. You'll be able to see things and wonderful photos of the Lunar New Year and the Lion Dance. We also have this fun new adventure we're doing called a podcast series called Educate, Encourage, and Empower, where we have podcasts where you can hear from our teachers and hear about the various different things that they're doing in the classroom and how we're meeting the needs of our students here at Burke's. So I really hope that you have been able to learn from what we've spoken about today, and we really encourage you to come and visit. We'd love to see you and meet you and to share this wonderful place that we have here and the wonderful Bay Area. So thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much to the Burke's team for sharing so much about the wonderful learning opportunities that are there at that wonderful learning community. I have one just final question, if that's okay, because you guys have been so thorough in highlighting so many wonderful things about Burke's. And really, it's just more of a reflective kind of question about your previous self. And it is, and this is for anybody on the team, what would your past self want to know about the school that you know now? So thinking about the fact that we have prospective faculty joining this team and getting to watch this video and seeing all these wonderful things, I want you to just reflect back on your own experience of being new into this learning community. And the question once again is, what would your past self want to know about the school that you know now? Anybody?
I'll jump in. I think my past self knew, that's why I came. But when you really live it, this is a mission-driven place. This idea to educate, encourage, and empower girls is a gift if it's a mission that you are drawn to, and if it is a mission you're drawn to, like you'll experience it like very few other places on an educational journey. It's what we breathe, eat, etc. And it did not disappoint in the high expectation I had for that in my earlier self. And I think it only takes itself on that part of its work more and more seriously. So it'd be my quick response. I'm not sure if others have things to say as well.
I have some things to say. I had the pleasure to go through the process of interviewing during the pandemic. And so everything was via Zoom. And I have to say that everyone I interviewed with and that I met was impressive, interesting, asked really great questions. And I really said, I think this is the place for me. I met Michelle, was my first interview. I met our now associate head of school, had a wonderful conversation with her and had conversations with small groups of teachers. And so it was clear to me that everyone was committed to the mission and that it was a great place for me to take my next step. And so I signed the contract sight unseen, and fortunately, I was able to come on campus later. And I'm here 4 years later. And as I said earlier, we're a mission-driven school. We're committed to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and we're doing the work. And I'm really happy to be here.
I think I would add to that as well. I was also hired via Zoom during the pandemic and wasn't able to come on campus. And what I didn't know and know now is that even though each of us has a very specific area of work and area of focus, there's nothing where you are feeling like you're doing it solo or in a silo. It's all very collaborative. There are always people willing to be a part of the work that you're trying to do and really bounce ideas off of and just be there to support you, but also to do things with you in collaboration. So that's been something really enjoyable to have here.
I would add to that, in the spirit of collaboration is also the spirit of a growth mindset. I think we talked about a little bit with the professional development, but I think what I have experienced in my time at Burke's is a real expectation that we are all growing together as learners, both as instructors and as leaders, but we're all learners on this journey. And that to me is a really exciting thing, to be part of an organization where everybody's working together to grow.
Wonderful. And, we are really grateful for you taking the time to share and celebrate the great work that's taking place at Burke's. And so with that, I have to say, Margot, Fran, Renita, Sheena, Michelle, thank you so much for sharing your story with our Strategy Genius community and as well as with the world. Super excited for those folks that really get to not just spend this time, obviously virtually with you, but to really take the time to visit you onto that campus, as well as to engage with the dynamic learning community that is Burke's. Thank you once again.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.